It's late at night. Your phone screen glows in the dark, illuminating your anxious face. You've been waiting for a reply that never comes. Sound familiar? This is Stoicism Legion. And just a few years ago, I was trapped in a relationship where I felt completely invisible. Today, I'm going to share the 7 hidden signs that someone doesn't value you. Signs I wish I'd recognized sooner. More importantly, I'll show you how to reclaim your worth and create relationships that truly honor who you are. But first, let me ask you this. When was the last time you felt truly seen and appreciated in your relationships? Hold on to that thought. We'll come back to it. Relationships are like gardens. They need care, attention, and respect to flourish. Today, we're going to identify the 7 weeds that can choke out even the strongest connections, and I'll give you the tools to root them out for good. Are you ready to cultivate a life filled with genuine, nurturing relationships? Let's begin. 1. The invisible erosion, disrespect, and betrayal. Picture this. You're at a dinner party, excitedly sharing your dream of starting a business. Suddenly, your partner chimes in, "Oh, honey, that's cute, but let's be realistic. You're not cut out for that." The room goes quiet. You feel your cheeks burn. This, my friends, is the first weed in our relationship garden. Disrespect. It's subtle, often disguised as helpful advice or harmless teasing. But make no mistake, it's quietly eroding your self-worth. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Did you know that people who consistently experience disrespect in their relationships are 70% more likely to experience anxiety and depression? That's not just a statistic. That's your mental health we're talking about. So how do we pull out this weed? First, call it what it is. Don't make excuses. Set clear boundaries and communicate how their actions affect you. Remember, as the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. But wait, there's more. Coming up next, I'll reveal the most common form of modern-day betrayal. It's something you might be experiencing right now without even realizing it. Stay tuned. 2. The silent treatment, ghosting, and poor communication. Meet Sarah, a brilliant scientist who poured her heart into a groundbreaking project. She shared every detail with her best friend, Rachel. But when Sarah needed support the most, Rachel vanished, only to resurface weeks later, acting as if nothing had happened. This, my friends, is ghosting, the modern-day silent treatment. It's not just rude, it's a clear sign that you're not a priority. Now, I want you to do something for me. Take out your phone. Look at your recent messages. Is there someone you've been waiting to hear back from for days, or even weeks? That pit in your stomach? That's your intuition telling you something's off. Ghosting and poor communication aren't just annoying, they're harmful. They leave you in limbo, often blaming yourself. But here's the truth. It's not about you. It's about their inability to communicate respectfully. So what can you do? Address it directly. Express how their silence makes you feel. Set clear expectations about communication in your relationships. Remember what Marcus Aurelius said. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Now brace yourself. Our next sign is so common that you might dismiss it as normal. But I assure you, it's anything but. Let's explore. 3. The spotlight stealer. Always being the center of attention. Imagine you're in a team meeting, sharing an idea you've been excited about for weeks. Suddenly your colleague Tom interrupts. That reminds me of something I did at my last job. He then launches into a 10-minute story about his past achievements. Sound familiar? Dealing with someone who always needs to be the center of attention is like trying to have a conversation next to a blaring car alarm. It's distracting, irritating, and leaves you feeling unheard. But here's the kicker. This behavior isn't just annoying. It's a sign of deep-seated insecurity or a need for validation. And it's slowly suffocating your ability to shine. So, how do we turn off this metaphorical car alarm? Set conversational boundaries. Gently but firmly steer the conversation back to include others. Practice active listening, but also assert your right to be heard. Remember Seneca's words. The greatest remedy for anger is delay. When dealing with spotlight stealers, take a breath before responding. Your calm assertion is more powerful than their need for attention. Next, we'll discuss a sign that's so painful it can shake the foundation of your self-worth. But first, I want to hear from you. Have you encountered a spotlight stealer in your life? Share your experience in the comments below. 4. The fair weather friend. Absent in times of need. Picture this. You've just lost your job. You're stressed, scared, and in need of support. You reach out to your best friend, but they're suddenly too busy to talk. Days turn into weeks, and they're still nowhere to be found. This, my friends, is the fair weather friend, present for the good times, but conspicuously absent when the going gets tough. Now, here's a question for you. Think about the last time you went through a difficult period. Who showed up for you? Who disappeared? The absence of support during tough times isn't just disappointing, it's revealing. It shows you where you truly stand in someone's list of priorities. But why does this happen? Sometimes people are uncomfortable with difficult emotions. Others might be self-absorbed. And some simply don't value the relationship as much as you do. So what can you do? Communicate your needs clearly. Reflect on patterns of behavior. And most importantly, cultivate a diverse support network. Don't put all your emotional eggs in one basket. Remember, as Zeno of Citium said, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen more than we say. True friends show up and listen when times are tough. Stay tuned because up next, we'll uncover a subtle yet crucial aspect of feeling valued, one that's often overlooked but deeply impactful. 5. The emotional vacuum. Lack of emotional support. Imagine this. You're anxious about an upcoming job interview. You express your worries to your partner, hoping for some comfort. Instead, they respond with, "You'll be fine, just don't mess it up," before quickly changing the subject to their plans for the weekend. How would you feel? Dismissed? Unsupported? You're not alone. This emotional vacuum is more than just frustrating. It's harmful. Did you know that people in relationships lacking emotional support are twice as likely to experience symptoms of depression? But why do some people struggle to provide emotional support? They might have grown up in an environment where emotions weren't expressed. They could lack empathy or emotional intelligence, or they might be dealing with their own unresolved issues. So how can we fill this emotional vacuum? Communicate your needs clearly. Explain what kind of support you're looking for. Lead by example by offering emotional support to others. Remember Marcus Aurelius's words, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." While we can't control others' reactions, we can choose how we respond and who we turn to for support. Now brace yourself. Our next sign is perhaps the most insidious of all. It's a trap that many of us fall into without even realizing it. Are you ready to uncover it? 6. The empty promises. Words without action. You're like a brother to me. I'd do anything for you. You can always count on me. Beautiful words, aren't they? But what happens when actions never back these words up? Meet John. His friend Mike often expressed how much he valued their friendship. But when John needed help moving to a new apartment, Mike was suddenly too busy. When John was going through a tough time and needed someone to talk to, Mike was always unavailable. This disconnect between words and actions is more than disappointing. It's a form of manipulation. It keeps you hooked on the relationship, always hoping that the actions will match the words next time. But here's the truth. Actions speak louder than words. As Epictetus said, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. So, how do we deal with empty promises? Pay attention to patterns of behavior over time, not just isolated incidents. Communicate your observations calmly and clearly. Most importantly, decisions should be made based on actions, not words. Now we're about to uncover our final sign, one that's so fundamental it affects every aspect of your relationships. But before we do, I want to hear from you. Have you experienced the pain of empty promises? Share your story in the comments below. 7. The boundary crusher. Disregard for your limits. Imagine you've clearly told your coworker that you don't discuss your personal life at work. Yet, they constantly pry into your private matters, brushing off your discomfort with a casual, "Come on, we're friends. You can tell me anything." This, my friends, is a classic boundary violation. It's the final, crucial sign that someone doesn't value you. Boundaries are the invisible lines that define where you end and others begin. They're essential for maintaining healthy relationships and preserving your sense of self. When someone repeatedly ignores or pushes against these limits, it shows a fundamental lack of respect. But here's the kicker. Many of us struggle to set and maintain boundaries because we fear being seen as difficult or unlikable. Does this resonate with you? So, how do we stand firm in our boundaries? Be clear and specific about what is and isn't acceptable. Use I statements to express how boundary violations make you feel. Most importantly, you should implement consequences when your boundaries are disregarded. Remember Seneca's wisdom. The greatest remedy for anger is delay. When faced with boundary violations, take a moment to collect yourself before responding assertively. Now that we've uprooted these 7 relationship weeds, let's recap. 1. The invisible erosion, disrespect and betrayal. 2. The silent treatment, ghosting and poor communication. 3. The spotlight stealer, always being the center of attention. 4. The fair weather friend, absent in times of need. 5. The emotional vacuum, lack of emotional support. 6. The empty promises, words without action. 7. The boundary crusher, disregard for your limits. Recognizing these signs is just the first step. The real challenge and opportunity lies in how you respond. So here's your mission. Choose one relationship in your life. Apply what you've learned today. Set a boundary, communicate a need, or walk away. Your journey to reclaiming your worth starts now. Remember, you're not just worthy of respect, you're worthy of celebration. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. If this video resonated with you, hit that like button and share it with someone who might benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights on personal growth and healthy relationships. Thank you for joining me on this journey of self-discovery. Until next time, keep cultivating those healthy relationship gardens. Your future self will thank you.